an Atlanta mayoral candidate who voted to sequester $73 million from the city's police department budget, reportedly had his car stolen.
It's time that we start addressing the root of this problem, because there's no amount of officers that could have stopped this from happening.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mean, it's truly incredible how these blue cities are starting to fall apart. In Chicago, Chicago has now announced, their police department just announced that they're changing their policy with regard to foot pursuits. Okay, what is their new policy with regard to foot pursuits? You want to talk about allowing criminality to flourish? Their policy with regard to foot pursuits is that foot pursuits will only be allowed when there is, quote, probable cause for an arrest, or it is believed an individual has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a crime. There will be no foot chases stemming from minor traffic offenses. So if somebody is speeding and they get out of their car and they run, the police are not allowed to chase them. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said, because foot pursuits are one of the most dangerous actions police officers can engage in, we can't afford to wait any longer to put a policy in place that regulates them. The important parameters outlined in this policy will not only protect our officers, the public, and potential suspects during foot pursuits, it also serves as a step forward in our mission to modernize and reform our police department. The interim plan includes the following: reminding officers to begin any interaction with tactics meant to reduce the possibility of a foot pursuit, defining foot pursuits as appropriate only when there is probable cause for an arrest, or it is believed an individual has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a crime, prohibiting foot pursuits stemming from minor traffic offenses, detailing tactics to avoid a foot pursuit, including continual communication with the subject and encouraging officers to position themselves in such a way to reduce the opportunity for a foot chase, outlining alternatives to foot pursuits that should always be considered by officers, including establishing a surveillance or containment area and or apprehending an identified suspect at another time or place. So otherwise, let the guy go. Let him run away. He committed a crime. But you know what? Is it really worth it? Basically what this does is it creates liability for an officer deciding to pursue, but no liability for letting the guy go. That's the incentive structure that has now been created for Chicago cops. If you follow the guy, you're now going to have to justify to the police department why you engaged in a foot pursuit. But if you just let the criminal go and he goes and he shoots somebody, you can always say, well, you know what? I really didn't think a foot pursuit was appropriate. I wasn't sure he was going to go commit a crime. Okay, the benefit of the doubt used to be with the cops. Okay, and you may say there was too much benefit of the doubt to the cops. That's an argument. But the alternative, it seems, is benefit of the doubt to the criminals. Because once you tell cops they can just not do their jobs, and in fact, it is dangerous for them to do their jobs, they're not going to do their jobs. The new Chicago policy prohibits foot pursuits for criminal offenses less than a Class A misdemeanor, unless the person poses an obvious threat to the community or any person, and discontinuing foot pursuits if someone is injured and requires immediate medical attention, if officers are unaware of their location, and if the need to apprehend the subject is not worth the risk to responding officers, the public, or the subject. Okay, that's one that's just wild, okay? So you're supposed to stop a foot pursuit if the need to apprehend the subject is not worth the risk to the officers, or the public, or the person you are pursuing. So in other words, if you're chasing down a person for, say, smoking pot in public, and let's say that's a Class A misdemeanor in Chicago. I don't know what the actual classification is. And the person starts to run away. Okay, if you believe that you may have to tackle the person, or if you believe that the person, who knows, might be carrying a gun and they might turn around and you might have to shoot the person, then you're supposed to discontinue the foot pursuit. Termination of a foot pursuit if officers engaged in the pursuit believe they would not be able to control the suspect if a confrontation were to occur. Well, that's literally the suspect has a gun. I can't control the subject. Right? So this is madness. So the city of Chicago is now, by the way, supervisors are also made liable for this, because now supervisors are allowed to instruct officers to discontinue a foot pursuit at any time. And anytime there's a foot pursuit, officers have to notify the Office of Emergency Management and Communications. All of this was done in the aftermath of the fatal police shooting of 13-year-old Adam Toledo, who was holding a gun and was shooting at random cars passing by. So this is all designed to prevent the shooting of Adam Toledo, who was, in fact, engaging in deadly type criminal behavior. Shooting guns at passing cars is a deadly type criminal behavior. And the city of Chicago's solution is tell the cops to stop engaging in foot pursuits. How could anything like this, can you imagine why the cities are getting worse? How could they possibly be getting worse? How? Okay, well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes is the name of the game over in Atlanta, which is pursuing similar policies. According to the New York Post, an Atlanta mayoral candidate who voted to sequester $73 million from the city's police department budget reportedly had his car stolen by a group of young thieves this week and wound up thanking the cops for their help. City Council member Antonio Brown had just gotten out of his white Mercedes coupe to speak to fellow community leader Ben Norman in Northwest Atlanta's Dixie Hills community Wednesday when he spotted 4 or 5 kids, the youngest only 6 or 7. The kids were walking around a store, and within seconds, they jumped inside his car. One kid was in the driver's seat, Brown told the outlet. Ben attempted to open the door to get him out of the car. He fought with Ben. I then engaged and tried to get him out of the car. The 3 other kids were trying to figure out how to get in the car or stay out of the car. He started to hit on the gas, and Ben let it go. As he started to speed up, and if I knew I had not let it go, I knew I could probably have killed myself because he was going so fast I would have started to tumble, he said, and I would have hurt him. Brown said he filed a report with the Atlanta PD. And now again, Brown voted to defund the police. What did Brown say? He said, it appears the kids acted out of desperation. He said, this is a generational poverty issue. These kids, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. Why aren't they in school? Why aren't we enforcing systems to ensure that if they're not in school, they're in rec centers? Or again, you could just tell the cops never to enforce the law, and the predictable result is they will steal your car. Okay, so play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Did you know that every single like creates one additional leftist tier? That is just science.